I'm Julia Herzberg. I've attended 6 biennials, beginning in 1997, which was the 6th, and then again in 2000, which was the 7th, 2003, which was the 8th, 2006, which was the 9th, 2009, which was the 10th, and 2012, which was the 11th. I was a consulting curator for 3 biennials, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. As a curator, writer, and art historian, I've benefited greatly from the biennials' organizing team's efforts and results, from their persistent outreach of talented artists from all over the world, from the experimentation that the biennial has engaged in, and from the cutting-edge practices of unrecognized and under-recognized artists who produce work that redefined traditional dialogues, or transnational dialogues. As a consulting curator for the 3 biennials, I submitted recommendations for Latino and/or Caribbean artists who lived and worked in the United States. For example, Dario Oleaga, Alejandro Diaz, and Say Son Long, among others. I worked closely with Jose Noceda, who in turn worked closely with Ives Hernandez, as well as the other curators, all of whom are generous and talented, on the larger biennial committee. For the 10th Havana Biennial in 2009, I worked with Margarita Gonzalez, and I recommended artists from Asia, some of whom lived and worked in India, China, Japan, and Taiwan. The committee selected Yun Soo Min of South Korean origin, who lives and works in California. Chen Jiuyong from China was also included. The biennial always presented a selection of emerging as well as better-known Cuban artists whose career I've followed through the years, as they have attracted international attention. Such artists as Wilfredo Prieto, Cacho, the Carpinteros, the Capote brothers, Glenda Leon, Armando Marino, and Duvier Delgado. I supported funding such artists as Tania Bruguera, Lisette Castillo, and Alexander Arechea, while I was on the Artists Advisory Committee of the Cuban Artists Fund. I had the opportunity to write about many artists who were in the biennials. Karina Kaikkonen from Finland, Helga Griffith from Germany, Navjad Altaf from India, and Claudia Del Fierro from Chile, Carlos Garicova from Cuba, and Roberto Stevenson, who lives in Haiti. Each biennial presented artists whom I had the privilege of reconnecting with, such as Rosa Irigoyen and Martorell from Puerto Rico, Patrick Hamilton, Claudio Correa, Jennifer Becerra from Chile, Pablo Helguera from Mexico, Leandro Katz, Pepón Osorio, and Luis Kamnitzer, all of whom work in New York, or who did at the time they showed at the biennials. There were many artists in the biennials whose work I first came to know, such as Ciron Franco from Brazil, as well as Eder Santos, Gabriel Valensky from Argentina, Osman Nidaye Dago from Senegal, the team of Mauricio Diaz and Walter Redwick, who work and live in Brazil, Michael Najjar from Germany, Haniel Gauli from Egypt, and Sue Williamson from South Africa. I toured artists whose work I had seen in Havana when I was a Fulbright Scholar in Santiago, Chile in 2007 and 2013. One of those artists is Sai Go Chang. There were sections of artists who were more internationally well-known, whose work enabled me to maintain familiarity with their ongoing contributions. These artists included Guillermo Cuica from Argentina, Shirin Neshat, originally from Iran, works and lives in the U.S., Carlos Suara from Spain, Spencer Tunick from the United States, Lucy Orta from France are among those whose work I reconnected with. Each Havana Biennial provided me with opportunities to learn about certain housing communities in Havana, such as Solar de la California, where artists such as Betsabe Romero, Manuel Mendive, and Roberto Diago, among others, gave performances and workshops in printmaking, dance, poetry, and body movement, both for and with the residents of that residential complex. In conclusion, the theoretical groundings of the Havana Biennials called for the reflection and critical questioning of diverse artistic, political, economic, and social practices that are globally relevant at the moment. I find it especially interesting that the thematic issues of much of the artistic work presented at the 6 biennials I have attended, as well as in their symposia, were in advance of the perception of the political realities of the governing political body. It's possible that in retrospect, critical historical analysis will attribute the Havana Biennials as major events that led to an opening up of the country's dialogue, both within and outside of its national boundaries. I'm very pleased to offer this YouTube for you, and I hope that you like my comments on the Havana Biennials, which have been so wonderfully productive for my practice. Thank you.